Shalom, shalom. Once again, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemashai, Bashem Rakahakodash. Just wanted to touch on this is as far as you go. This is as far as you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here dealing in these back blocks of Pennsylvania where these Edomites dwell. And this is as far as they're going to go. While the world is, nations like China, Russia, other nations are like advancing their technology and their society, America's power grid is like so far behind. America's infrastructure is like so far behind. A lot of these houses are like 20, 50, 40, 170 years old and shit. And they're trying to keep it going. But this is as far as they go. You know, the Lord pretty much gave them a passing point, a point that they cannot pass. The scripture says he has bounds that he cannot pass. All right, meaning he can't go farther than this. This is as far as he goes. That's why you got presidents talking about make America great again. And I was meditating upon this because I was just talking about how our women like to side with the enemy, some of them, right? And they had this whole group called divesting and shit, you know. We seen some of that on that show with that fucking president or whatever the fuck. Anyways, you got our woman pretty much being a ghetto gagger for the white man, sucking white men dick to get up in society. Like who, brother? Like that bitch Zoe Zaldina, right? The one that get all those actor roles that just got that Emmy award, and she up there talking about, oh, I'm Dominican, blah blah blah, but her pops is black, right? She had to suck mad white dick to get up in that position, man. Okay, and a lot of our women have to do that shit, man. So, but it says right here, Job chapter 14, verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. That's right. This is talking about the so-called white man. His days are determined. The number of his months are with thee. Meaning what? He has a certain period of time that he can't go past. All right, where you have the president being white, you know, the white infrastructure, power, military industrial complex. It all has a certain time frame. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna go past this. It's not gonna get more he's not just gonna pull a rabbit out the hat and all of a sudden these broken down ass towns and broken down back cities gonna get a fucking industrial makeover. Everywhere you go around the so-called white man's country, America, Babylon the Great, I'll call it, all you see is people living under bridges, tents, strung out on fentanyl, strung out on drugs, scamming. All right, this place is just a cesspool of fucking crime, man. And for some reason, the only criminal, the only face of criminality is the black man. For some reason, you know what I'm saying? They make no expense to frame our faces up there, whatever some criminality is done. They put our mugshot all up in through there, man. And that's why the scripture says that the accuser of thy brethren is cast down. All right, this guy is always accusing us of doing something. The whole algorithm of social media only shares videos of black people fighting and throwing each other on the floor, or jumping somebody, or acting like animals, or shooting at somebody. That's all you ever see us do on the algorithm. That's not all we do, but according to the algorithm, that's all that the algorithm push. And that's why I said this scripture right here, the accuser of thy brethren is cast down. This is our Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, and I heard a voice from him coming, and I heard a voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night, right? This guy has the algorithm, all right, pretty much accusing us of doing all types of wickedness, right? When this man, the algorithm doesn't talk nothing about his pedophilia. It doesn't talk nothing about his blood sacrifices. It doesn't talk nothing about his raping of little girls and all this wicked shit that he does behind the scenes. All right, the white man has this fucking purely white, crystal clear image of himself. Why? Because he controls the media. He controls the television. The television, when you broadcast, they pretty much cast in spells. Broadcasting. When you cast something, you cast in spells. All right, and all they do on these algorithms and on these platforms is pretty much accuse the Israelites. Now, when you go to that word accuser, right there in Revelation 12:10, the Greek word for accuser is kategoreos, meaning that this man is categorizing us as what? Criminals, thugs, right? Criminals, thugs, niggas, street hoodlums, whatever the fuck you want to call it. All right, and pretty much casting us down trying to cast us from our excellency. All right, let me go grab you that. Because they know that we're better. Meanwhile, on all of the sports platforms, we over here dominating, getting championships, getting Super Bowls, running hundreds and hundreds of yards, doing phenomenal things. On one side, they love us in the fact that we can dunk the ball. You go look at a Michael Jordan mixtape back what he was doing in the 90s. All right, they love what we can do on that spectrum, and then on the other side of the spectrum, it's like, oh, but you're still a bunch of criminals. Get the fuck out of here, man. This Psalm 62:4. It said they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. That's right. And that's the spirit of the so-called white man. He's trying to cast us down from our excellency because he knows that we're better than him. So what does he have to do? He has to flood the media with all types of lies, all types of detrimental images of us. All right, so that the world can look at us and say, ugh, those black people, those niggas, they're just crazy, blah blah blah. Now, as far as it goes, yeah, you do have the underbelly of any society, especially our people. But anything about our people that's fucked up didn't happen until we started integrating with the so-called white man. You want to talk about drugs and crack? Okay, what did that happen? That was a LSU or that was a University of California experiment. I think it was what was it, Yale or something like that? All right, where they created crack and then they started pushing that shit in the black community, fucking up our households and sending a lot of people to jail. Because under the 13th Amendment, you're a slave unless you incarcerated. And so they found ways to incarcerate us. Go watch that movie Life. You know what I'm saying? With Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. And how they went down south and got incarcerated in, I forgot what state they was in. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing right now. They want to put us in that fucking prison, okay? Put us in that prison pipeline. All right? So all of it is a snare and a trap. All right? All right? It says that they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. And that's exactly how these white people get down. They want you to think that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we're harmless. But deep down, they want all of us in a fucking cage somewhere, man. Okay? Let's see if I can find the scripture. Yep, this Psalms chapter 64 and 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. That's what I'm talking about, through their media. All right, they shoot these bitter words, these arrows, trying to put criminality on our people. Which, like I said, you always going to have the underbelly of any society. You know what I'm saying? But Jake is the face of that shit. All right, Jake is the face of that shit. Meanwhile, they say that Jake is the minority. How could you be the face of all crime when you don't even possess that much of a population, according to them, right? It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. All right, that's us, the perfect. All right, we are the perfect people, man. Okay, regardless, you know, the Lord had caused us to fall. The scripture says that we are the city of the beauty of perfection. All right, it talks about that in the book of Lamentations. All right, these nations are actually jealous of us, and that's why they got to try to cast us down from our excellency. I just read that as well. All right, they want to cast us from our excellency. And here it says what? That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. They want to make us look like we're the worst thing in the world. All right, they want to make us look like we're the worst thing in the world. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily, and that's the point. They want to lay traps for us privately. All right, they have secret councils and shit. All right, where they like, oh, how can we get more black people to go to prison? How can we destroy more black households and families? All of this shit is systematic. Just because it's not in your face and they not saying these things in your face doesn't mean that these devils ain't going behind our backs and setting up all types of snares. What's a snare? A trap for you to fall into. That's why I don't trust none of these celebrities or none of the culture that they push. This nigga 50 Cent, he talking about power, powder, and respect, and over here talking all this gangster shit. That shit don't do nothing but put your ass in prison. How come we ain't been outlawed this nigga? How come we ain't cancel that shit, man? Okay, we see the snare. All right, but the young impressionable mind, they'll look up to these people and be like, you know what? This is cool, and all that other shit. It said they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them is in the heart is deep. That's right. But the Lord's gonna disappoint the counsels of the crafty, man. Okay? Everything that these devils try to do to throw snares, all right, and try to destroy us, they're gonna be destroyed with their own devices. The same devices they try to destroy us with, they're getting destroyed by it. Over here, fentanyl up, right? Their birth rate population is falling apart. These are the same things they wanted to happen to us is happening to them. Okay, they're the face of fucking pedophilia in the earth. They're the face of fucking global war and inhumanity, inhumane war crimes and shit. Go look at over there in Palestine and Israel and shit like that. People see what happened over there. All right, they not jacking that. America's being called out for the hypocrites that they are. I'm talking about who? These so-called white people, these Edomites. These Edomites are being called out for being hypocritical. The whole earth is going to turn against them. Just as they was trying to get the whole earth to turn against us Israelites, the whole earth is turning against you fucking devils. You sick fucking devils. And you fucking Hispanics, because you join yourself to this devil. Instead of coming back to Yahweh Shema Shai, you Ephraimites, you out here aligning yourself to your whiteness. You want to be a white Latino, huh? Well, the Lord said in Isaiah 14, or I believe it is, that whosoever is joined unto them shall be thrust through. So you want to be an Edomite, all right? You're gonna be thrust through, all right? It says right here though. It says Job chapter 5 verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that the hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. That's right. So the same plans that they had to destroy us, they're going to be destroyed themselves by their own devices. All right. The Lord is going to destroy them for trying to destroy us. We just read that in my last lesson in Jeremiah 30. All right. All they that devour thee shall be devoured. And that's the time that we living in. We living in a time of this devil. Like I said, this devil is losing power, man. All right. He's losing power, and you can see it on their face. Not too long ago, they had this boldness in their face when you come through. They still try to have it, but it ain't of no effect. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you go to places like where a lot of white people are at, up northeast. But it ain't of no effect. There was a point in time where all they had to do was whistle and they could go get the rope and hang us. You know what I'm saying? We're not living in them times no more, man. All right, we living in the time of the Lord is exposing it of exposing this devil for the wicked man that he is, that he's the Edomites. All right, and we living in the time of the weakening of this devil. All right, militarily. All right, militarily, yeah, America still got power, but at the end of the day, they don't have the nuclear capability to stop missiles from Russia or China. All right, they don't have the defense, the weapons defense mechanisms to even defeat anybody, and they don't have a large standing ground troop army. All right, So the Lord is bringing these people down, and they don't even know it. They still full of pride. That's why the scripture said the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. When you listen to Donald Trump, he's over here telling people he's going to put tariffs on this and that and that and this. He don't understand that most of his country is heavily reliant upon import-export. They don't need you. You need them, dumbass. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne the fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed, and they became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. They ain't going to fight nobody but they got themselves. Because when you go into it, it says that they're divided, man. All you ever hear is the Democrats were mad. The Democrats were mad. All these damn Republicans, blah, 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 blah. So they're divided within themselves. And a country that's divided cannot stand. Everywhere you go, motherfuckers like, oh, them Democrats this, them Democrats that. Then they be like, oh, them Republicans this, them Republicans that. We don't give a fuck about neither political party. But it says right here in the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter, that the Lord will raise up the Egyptians against the Egyptians. The modern day Egyptians are these Edomites, because this is spiritual Egypt, pursuant to Revelation 11 and 8. All right, where we're in captivity again, just like we were in captivity in the book of Exodus. And this is the modern day Pharaoh, the so-called white man. As the scripture said, there's no new thing under the sun. So this is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's right. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. That's right. The Lord is breaking down the intelligence of these people. You got aircraft control systems, planes crashing into each other, can't even tell where something's at in the sky, shit like that. All types of unintelligent people controlling intelligent technology. The scripture says that wisdom where is there wisdom in Teman? Wisdom is no more in Teman. All right. So the Lord is bringing these people down. Like I said, if the Lord, just like in my last lesson, the Lord had made this man eloquent. The Lord is making this man do some dumb shit. It's making him vote for people that are not even knowledgeable on anything. All right, just proud as fuck, talking about I'm Trump and I'm da-da-da. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Da-da-da. That shit don't work no more, man. None of these other countries give a fuck, man. They're not scared of America. America think that somebody's scared of them still. You know what I'm saying? After World War II, yeah, everybody was bowing down to this devil because he made fire come down out of heaven, which was those atomic bombs. But then when everybody started to get atomic bombs and getting their own nuclear missile weapons, it's like, yo, you fuck with us, we gonna shoot them shits at your shit. And America really ain't got no cards to really dictate nothing either. But the thing is, the Lord put the spirit on them. He put that pride on them. All right? And they're going to pretty much destroy their own selves. All right? Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against, verse 3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Right? Because they don't believe on Yahweh Shema Shai. These people are into black magic, into left-hand tactics and shit. Like I said, they worship in the Baphomet and shit like that. All of the things that they legalize here, all of these wicked paganistic holidays and shit. These people are not of the Lord. They're wicked, all right? They're just like those Egyptians doing magic and shit, fucking with magicians and left-hand energy and necromancy and fucking all types of blood sacrifice and shit like that on the left-hand side. And they swear and believe that worshiping Satan is going to prosper them, all right? Because it worked for a time. Hey, but the Lord is about to shut this shit the fuck down. None of that shit gonna work. It talks about that in Isaiah the 47th chapter, man. All right, that you're gonna lose your precious country. All you ever hear is these white people talk about, oh, this great country. When the fuck was this country great? When it was established on rape, robbery, and murder, lies, and deception. All right, bunch of broken treaties and shit like that. Okay, there's nothing great about it, man. Okay, especially the for you Israelites out there, you talking about, oh, we're American. We ain't no fucking Americans. Yes, we're so-called Americans, but nigga, we're Israelites. Our dwelling place is in Israel. All right, Jerusalem is our resting place. You got a lot of our people that's like, oh, we foundational black America. I have no problem with that because you identify yourself as a specific lineage. But at the end of the day, America ain't the fuck what we are either. We're Israelites, man. Okay? We are the tribe of Judah, man. It says, Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 8, because I wanted to touch on how the Lord is about to end this man, and he's not going to continue to prosper. Alright, ain't going to be no prosperity. The scripture said, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Pursuant to the book of 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given a pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Right, and that's the spirit of Babylon the Great. They're pretty much saying, oh, we're going to prosper, we're going to make America great again, we got to go through this, we're going to do this, we're going to put America first now, we're going to say, forget about Europe. And none of that shit going to work. Only thing that's going to happen, only thing that's happening is the Lord is breaking down America, breaking down the allies, breaking down the power structure of the so-called white man. And once the Lord start to break this place down, it ain't going to get it back up. Once the Lord break this place down, it's going to fall all the way the fuck down. When you ever see some shit like that? Alright, all kingdoms have their rise and their fall. You'll never see a kingdom rise and then fall and then get back up. It just doesn't fucking happen. Alright, that's why this place has been falling, and it's going to continue to fall, and we're going to continue to rejoice at the fall of it. Right? So it says right here, verse 9, Isaiah 47 and 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day. The loss of children, right? Your whole bloodline. Alright, and one day your whole bloodline pretty much going to be destroyed by those ICBMs, those intercontinental ballistic missiles coming from China, Russia, alright, and everywhere else that has nuclear capabilities, right to here, alright, in the different places on the earth that you dwell. Alright, it's going to be this great big ass destruction, man. This World War III shit, man, which the Lord orchestrated. He had foretold 2,000 some odd years ago, man. Talks about it in Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, behold, the third woe coming quickly. Woe means destruction, man. World War III. Alright? So the stage is set for World War III, and we're already seeing all of these nations collide and disagree on what's going to be the world reserve currency, how they're going to distribute their trade. Alright? At one point in time, everybody was bowing down to the American dollar, which made America very powerful. Alright? Because everybody was dealing and trading in dollars. Alright? Which made the American dollar valuable, man. All right, but now people these other nations, they're de-dollarizing themselves, man. All right, it says in widowhood, they shall come to thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Right, we talked about the enchantments, the curses, and the fucking black magic that they do. All right. Broadcasting to the people that we're the problem. Meanwhile, we're the chosen people of the Lord. You ain't never gonna tell them that, though. You're not gonna tell them that the tribe of Judah is the so-called Negroes here in America. Yeah, you ain't gonna say no shit like that, right? Yeah, because you're a devil and you're full of shit. You're a liar. And we done trusting and believing in anything that you say, man. That's why the scriptures say, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. We're not ignorant of this devil's device. We know exactly, even 2/3 of our people, these different media outlets that spread falsification, false information and shit, trying to drag you into all types of stupid conflicts. That's not our conflict. Our conflict, we ain't got no conflict, okay? Our conflict is we're gonna serve Yahweh Shemashai and bring out the gospel. That's it, man. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemashai.